Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Launch Your Light, a podcast for the mystical and magical woman here to share her soul purpose. Today, our episode 3, is all about from soul to strategy. So let's dive right in. I cannot wait because I just get so fired up about these topics. I had to write a book about it, and now I have a podcast about it. So, from soul to strategy, what do I mean by that? This is actually the tagline for my business. And I've been using this phrase for years now because I believe we need both of these things to bring our creations and our visions to life, let alone create an environment for them to grow and thrive in. I also believe that this is the future of business. I believe that it will be a more conscious, created, a more connected marketplace than it is now. And many people will be adding in soul and not just focusing on strategy. And we can see that being played in a lot of places. So I'll bring up ideas and stories of that throughout this episode and our time together. But really, why did I do this? How did I come here to do this? I've been playing in the realms of spirit and business for over 2 decades now. And eventually, I could see the problems that many small and big business owners faced. They either lack strategy or they lack soul. I consider strategy to be the container, the vessel, the structure, right? And I view the soul as the essence, the creation, the flow of inspiration. And I know for myself and have witnessed in others that when you have both of these, lots of magic can be made. It will flourish, it will flow. It feels more alive. It feels like a co-creation. We'll learn more about that later on in future episodes when I teach you how to connect to the spirit of your business. You realize you are not alone in this. This is not just about you, right? So this is the entry point here. And I've spent the last 10 years teaching, writing, and leading on soul purpose on organic business, spiritual entrepreneurship, feminine-based marketing strategies. And in my eyes, the future of business will be one in which every part involves benefits from this transaction, right? Where every party involves from the benefits of the transactions in your business. That may be like a mind-blowing moment for you right here, but I'll break it down real quick. When we have a future of making money, when we think about the future of making money, and many people are doing it right now, but when we think about the future of making money, we need to really look at who is involved, right? So who's buying? Who are the buyers? Are the buyers involved? Are they benefiting from this transaction, from your creation, from your product, from your service, right? Well, I would hope they are. Of course, we think about the client, we think about the buyer, right? And then, of course, we think about the person who's making it or providing it or the business or the anything from co-op and the people involved to the corporation, right? We would hope that they would benefit too. But there's actually this missing link, and that's the group of people, things, situations, environments, and places that are either used and abused or taken advantage of or not seen, or you know what I mean? So I think that's that like tertiary angle there, that triangle there is what we haven't been paying attention to. And I think we need a raising of consciousness within that. So I know I just went deep into that. I'm going to pull myself back here. But there is new business coming. There is a new way of doing business coming, and many people are doing it now. So I am here for those who are ready to align their purpose, whether it's an idea or a vision they have, or a passion project they've been wanting to get out into the world, a social movement, a book they want to write, or a full-blown biz. This podcast is for you. The book I wrote is for you. And I want to make sure you're in the right place. I'm going to continue to share and talk like this on this podcast because this experience was made specifically for a few people in mind. And one of them is that person who wants to gain clarity around their soul purpose, earth mission, and passion product. You hear these words and you're like, yep, Jamie Gray, that is me. But you're like, I need some help with that. Great, keep listening. Also, those who want to learn how to get their gifts out into the world and to make a positive impact. A lot of you have them and you're doing them, and maybe you're doing it behind closed doors, but to get it out is like, ooh, scary. Or maybe you're just curious to explore the ideas of self-employment, time, financial freedom. Hey, if that's you, that's beautiful. Maybe you know that your soul is here for something more than watching TV, paying taxes, and dying. Many of us are waking up to that. Welcome. Maybe you're turned off by the traditional ways of doing business or the traditional ways of society and living life and the getting up at 7 a.m. and having a hectic, no, getting up at 6 a.m. and getting kids rushed out the door and having a hectic, chaos-filled, stress-filled morning, right? And you just want your life and maybe your business to look more conscious and creative and spiritual in your business. Maybe you want less screen time and you don't have the capacity for another course or video to watch right now. And you're just like, you love podcasts. Or you saw that I was doing this and you're like, yup, I need to listen to her. Maybe you're that person who's seeking strategy, a map to follow, looking for some solid advice for doing business in the wild nude world. So listen, if you checked off any of the above points, I invite you to keep listening because most likely you are like the rest of us, consciously attuned and energy sensitive beings. You're probably wondering where things are headed on the planet, aren't we all? Oh my God. And what that means for you, your family, and your future. You have every right to think those things right now, my friend. Either the idea of staying in a soul-sucking job until retirement is a hard no for you. There's nothing like that. But for many of us, that is not it. And you know you're here for more, but you're just unsure of what that looks like. Or maybe your dreams and your visions and your insights are like flirting with you and the idea of being something greater. And it feels all warm and bubbly in your belly. And you know there's something more meaningful out there, but you can't figure it out. I was literally born to help you with this. So if this rings true for you, then I am going to start to invite you to explore as you're listening to me in these episodes, or if you go get my book, my ebook right now, it's in a link in the show notes here. I'm going to invite you with either of these resources to start exploring your soul purpose and your mission. I believe this is your energetic blueprint and your soul map for what brings you to planet Earth. I believe everyone has a path of purpose on this planet. I believe purpose is your why. It's what you came here to do, what you're here to experience, what you came here to be, came here to feel, what you came here to overcome, what you came here to embody, heal, feel, all of it. I believe purpose is the point, especially right now. I always tell my clients, you're probably already doing it. I'm not one of those people who are going to tell you it's way out there, miles down the road. I'm telling you, if we actually got on a call together and I started to ask you some of the questions I ask, it's going to lead to you realizing you're already doing it. So why don't we start there? Why don't you start right there, right now? What are those things that you have been doing anyways? And I don't mean for a job. I just mean like your being, your unique blueprint, your essence, the energy you show up into a room with. I believe your purpose is to co-create with you. I believe your purpose wants to co-create with you. You are not alone in this adventure. Again, I'll talk about that in later episodes, but just right now, even for you to take in, to let settle in your body that you are being guided and supported by a living energetic blueprint of what wants to be created on the planet. Meaning this idea, this consciousness, this creation came to you, it chose you, it wants you. It thinks for some reason you're the best person, the best human on planet Earth to make the thing happen. So celebrate yourself in that now. You are a team with this co-creation. I'll be teaching you how to embody that later on. I always say purpose is beyond powerful. Listen, this is the reason why many of us are here, and it will drive you mad until you surrender to the process. Can I get an amen? Aho, blessed be to that. It will drive you mad until you let go and surrender to this process. This book and this podcast will help you with that. So there are a few more things I want you to get clear on, and these are some lies we hear out there in regards to running a small business right now, starting that passion project, doing your soul work. And the first one is the market is saturated. I'm here to let you know the market is not saturated. I believe it's actually understaffed and undersupported because the online and social media terrains are designed to serve up more of what we're looking at and searching for. It's an echo chamber, right? This means we live in these like echo chambers. If you've heard that term before, I love it, right? You think of this like capsule where everything you're hearing is only like off the reflection of the small walls around you, because that's how social media algorithms are designed. That's how ad and marketing is designed right now, to just give you more of what you're already into. So what does that happen when we talk about business is that, well, everyone's already doing blank, insert your gift here. So why should I start now? Everyone's already doing it. Everyone's already a Reiki teacher. Everyone's doing it. It's old. Oh, I'm late to the game. No, you're not. Right? This is one of the most giant blocks I see with soul purpose. And this podcast is going to help you feel confident in what you're here to create. And it's going to help you understand how solving problems and creating solutions leads to a healthy marketplace. And there is room for everyone here. So it's actually more about what your gifts are, what you're here to do, to create, to make, to serve, whatever that is, that being the answer to other people's problems. Again, we'll keep reading and keep listening. That's coming, okay? And if it's already getting your wheel spinning, great. You're in the right place, and I am the right person for you. So the second lie is, I'm too late. I'm too late. It's over. The party's over. The bus is gone. The train has left the station. Listen, you are not too late, and you're right on time, especially if you're waking up in 2024. Welcome, my friend. All right? Because millions of people are waking up right now to higher states of consciousness. And even those who have awoken before, if you're like, I had my awakening in 2012, like Jamie Gray did, or in 2016, or 2020 was a big awakening for you, great. When you do that, new ribbons of consciousness become available to you to pop up to another level. So, listen, engaging in activations and healing and alignment and expansion and all of those things help get you there. And really, the there is an expansion within, right? It's an alignment within, it's a healing within. These are within experiences, way more than they are outside of you experiences. And your unique gifts and ideas and your talents and the mission that you're here to do are valuable and essential in this transformational landscape, all right? And the world is eagerly awaiting your contribution. All you have to do is open your eyes and look around, and you can see that the world needs your magic and your medicine right now. We need your unique vibration because it will help to enrich and elevate our collective journey, right? So getting started right now is actually perfect. And you'll notice that people who have already been awakened or whatever are kicking off new things, or they're restarting, you know? Okay. The third lie that we're used to hearing is size matters. LOL. I mean, listen, you know what I'm saying. Size doesn't matter in regards to many things, LOL. But in regards to this whole purpose work and what we're here to do, many individuals with purpose hesitate to start because they believe they need like a substantial social media audience or an extensive email list to do the damn thing. But here's the liberating truth. You don't. Most people will never start. Not some. Most people will never start because they don't want to be seen or publicized. Guess what? None of that matters. And I'll explain why in the next few episodes too. Like we'll go deeper and deeper on that, especially when we're talking about like aligning with the perfect client and you matching up with people that are in time capsules with you who are available. Like I like to teach people a lot of frequency work and energy work and how to turn yourself into an antenna and like to give out radio signals, basically. Some people also like the lighthouse analogy. Um, there's only going to be so many people that are ready for that light or that signal. Does that make sense? So I'll help you with that. But the whole external reflection of numbers, my friend, that it doesn't matter. Okay. We just need to get you going. So, future currencies, I believe, will be weighed regarding experience, frequency, vibration, not the numbers of followers you have. Don't get me wrong, that can help. Engagement helps, being seen helps. That's great. But if you're not moving forward now because of that, we need to talk. All right. So let's keep going. I want you to get clear, even more clear over and over and over again, how to use this podcast and how to use my book. Okay. Because it is a process and it is actually a collection of processes I've used over the last decade to help people with this work. So, because so many people are coming to this experience for specific soul work, I invite you to follow the map and the process I've laid out in that book, or I'm going to do it on this podcast too. All right. So, just keep listening or go get that download. Our readers span from many different places. That's why I'm kind of using this broad term right now of like getting behind your soul work. Because we've got people who are just curious about their soul purpose and mission. We've got those wanting to scale their business. That's a whole different vibe. We've got people who want to just be more connected in the spirit to the spirit of their craft, not even the spirit of their business, but their craft. We've got people who are curious about the future of business, like I am. I'm right there with you. And many more listeners on this podcast. And listen, right now, start to get clear on these like buckets, these different buckets I'm about to explain, like which one you fit into. Some listeners will be more focused and called to the beginner section of this, the more like energetic and spiritual side of this, the next few episodes, basically, which will be filled with spiritual connection, energetic frequency, and guidance. Lots of exercises to work with on the soul side, for example. And other readers will be called to focus more on the business practices and the blueprints that I'll be giving you that focus more on the strategic side of the scale. So keep listening. You'll definitely want to stick around for the later episodes on this. I understand that each of you are at different points of soul purpose. Like, I get that. But you getting clear on where you are in this spectrum would be really helpful right now. And I'd love for you to write in and tell me. So go follow me on Instagram. The handle is Launch Your Light, all written out. And just message me. I want to get to know you. I want to know what your work is. And the more you let me in on where you are now, the more I'll be able to create these episodes around you. And I'll use your examples and I can bring you up. I hope to do live coaching on here too, just so you guys can get a feel of the work I do. And when we listen to one person being coached, it's really helpful because so many of us can identify with those of us in these areas. So there's lots of great things coming on this podcast. I am beyond excited. So I'm going to keep going. LOL. We're going to embark on this journey together, and it starts with soul. I've got to start here, right? So we start with soul and we will move towards strategy. If we start with strategy, it's not going to help, but we have no idea where we're going. You know what I mean? I'm big about direction. I'm big about strategy myself, but the starting point isn't marketing strategy. Okay. It's your spirit. And I'm here to help you align with that more. And I also want to help ensure that you have a balanced and holistic approach to your personal and professional growth. And listen, we could all use a bit more soul. The world could use a bit more soul right now. So If you get my book, make sure you read through the entire guidebook. It will be crucial to your process there. If you're listening to these episodes, make sure you make it all the way through until I talk about finishing up the chapters in episodes. There's currently 11 working chapters. So there will be I might even break it down even more on these episodes. You know what I mean? Um, but you'll hear me, stay with me, stick with me until you hear me talk about it. The end of that. What I will be doing in between these episodes is interviewing amazing people, doing some live coaching, coming out with anything inspirational coming through my channel in that moment that I feel would really serve the collective. All right. So if you want a comprehensive understanding of the self-improvement process, this I would stick through this journey and stay engaged on this path with me. Okay. Um, yeah, let's move on. So here's the different ways that you could use this. Please feel free to use this experience as a strategy map. That's what I call a guidance system that lights you up and connects you with this vision. And it will help you create it as well. We'll talk more about that later. Feel free to use this experience as an activator or incubator, right? A growing pod or something like that for your soul purpose with limited people involved and my attention laser focused on you. So if you want private sessions with me right away, you're like, oh my God, this is the coach I've been looking for. Holy crap, where have you been my whole life? Hi, here I am. Finally out with a podcast. Sorry it took so long. Reach out to me again. Just go to the Instagram if you've got it and DM me. But also, if you don't want to work privately with me right now, but you feel open to share with me what's going on and what your work is, just do that too. Um, Another way to use this is to take advantage of the flexibility of using this experience as a timeline. So some of you are just hearing some of these episodes now as it's being launched, and you just use this over the next few months, or give yourself and get my book and give yourself like, I don't know, a good 6 months as a runway to do all of this amazing, profound work so that you can then hit the ground running when you know it's time, when your soul is signaling to you it's time. If you're unsure of how or what or what you want, what you need for this, don't worry. Listen, each section, each episode is absolutely going to help you filter out information in a way that works for you. Okay. Now, it is helpful. Listen, I know we like to multitask. I'm a multitasker on podcasts and walks and listening, and I've got two little star seeds out there running around, and sometimes I podcast on. But if you do get the book or you're holding my paperback right now that I finally published, oh, I can't wait, right? That's why I'm just the vision is here. It's sitting, it's weighted in my hands. Can you feel it with me? The published paperback is in your hands now. That's just how to do some manifestation work right there if you're listening. Or if you're going to use these, if you started to realize this podcast is way more than just like something to have on in the background, and you're like, holy shit, I'm about to learn this entire process from this magnificent soul. Yup. Well, go get yourself into a seated place or a spot in nature, or maybe get your notebook and or the way that you work in this manner in a space that maybe we can start to limit our distractions, our screen time, our excuses, our output, our busyness, and anything else that stands in the way of your desires. So get clear on what you need to stay focused. All right. Um, Also, if you're trying to move the dial on your path to purpose, this is how you're going to do it. Dive in, lean in, be all in. Obviously, allow time and space for processing and integration, but I want you to treat this as a soul quest that it is. All right. From the soul to strategy part and talking about how to illuminate the ways in which you've probably been doing this your whole life, I'm going to share with you a wee backstory. I am Celtic, I'm a Druid, and I'm a storyteller. So you're definitely going to be hearing stories on this podcast, but it's good. So listen, the entrepreneurial spirit kicked in for me around 7 years of age, if not younger. I know that may be hard to understand, but been involved in making my own money for at least 30 years now. I'm 38 as I record this, so it's been a while since I've been like wanting to make my own money. And I'm going to bring you back to the 90s, baby, specifically to a Boston St. Patrick's Day party, March of 92, cold, brisk day, but it's St. Patrick's Day. And that means we are alive with the spirit of the Irish in Boston. We had a yearly tradition in my family that my whole family was off the boat from Ireland, like most of Boston. And it was a time for us to gather with loved ones and drink and be merry. I mean, I was only 7, but it doesn't matter. Big, big, big family energy, community energy here. And those parties included grown-ups and elders and children and their dogs, and the whole family would be there. And we would pack Boston apartments and houses thick with families, and kegs would be flowing. And our kin would be decked out in the most obnoxious Irish green apparel. Like, where are my Irish people at? I vividly remember the emerald funnels, aka beer funnels, that were housed in glass cases on the mantelpieces, ready for the big moment. I'm not joking. This is a fucking true story. Um, and on these brisk March days, it didn't matter how cold it was outside because these houses would be filled with joy and excitement and the smell of beer and the sounds of storytelling and laughter and Irish music playing in the background. It was just so good. I hope I'm painting a good picture of the Irish spirit here. But here is where that story turned into me making money. At that young age, at 7 years old, I noticed that grown-ups often needed to refill. They needed a refill from the keg or they needed a new drink. Every time they got a new drink, I would observe that they had to leave their current spot and go stand in line at the keg, which, like, to the social butterfly, that wouldn't be a thing. But to someone who was like really deep in a conversation and a story, they would want to stay. There's nothing wrong with the scenario, but my little 7-year-old brain was able to see they had a need and I had a solution. At that moment, I decided I was going to start to charge adults to refill their drinks. I charged 25 cents for each refill. What an irresistible offer, LOL. And it worked like a charm. I became swamped very quickly. So I took action and started getting the other children at the party involved. I rounded them up, I taught them how to do it, and then told them what to charge. I'm not joking. This is a true story. Naturally, the children took over the keg, and we had our own system going within moments. The grown-ups thought it was hilarious, and just like that, I started my enterprise. We would keep this up for hours until we headed to the St. Patrick's Day parade in South Boston. Don't worry, we took the T. The T is the public transport. No one was driving. And let's just say the kids walked away with pockets jingling, full of change, after having the best day of our lives. Listen, I understand this is all very illegal today. But I'm giving you an idea of what the 80s and 90s were like, and we did what we wanted. And for me, this was the start of everything. So my entrepreneurial spirit did not stop there. I continued in the following years to draw and sell my own coloring books in middle school and participate in any crafts or book fairs, all of it. I was part of all of it. I always had my own table. I was always selling something. I was always walking around talking to someone and selling them something. I created a snow shoveling business. When there would be snowstorms, I would employ the neighborhood kids to shovel for me. I would set a price and make the deal with our neighbors, and then the kids would go shovel. I'd pay them out and keep some to myself. Again, I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. By my preteens, I had my own babysitters club, which was a network of babysitters ready in local towns with parents who needed sitters they could trust. By my teens, I had worked for multiple small businesses. By the time I was in college, I had 3 to 4 jobs running simultaneously. By the time I finished school, I had secured a job with a reputable brand where I climbed the corporate ladder until I was bored. I would then find another big brand, repeat this cycle a few times until I crashed, burned, and became a yoga teacher, LOL. From there, I opened up a gym with my husband, which is tripling in size and expanding in its 8th year business. That was actually last year. We're now in year 9 right now, and we're doing phenomenal 9 years into that new expansion and tripling of our space and business. And I'm simultaneously coaching, teaching, leading, and exploring in the realms of soul purpose, earth mission, feminine or organic-based business practices, all forms of spiritual entrepreneurship, and much more in the last decade with thousands of women. So entrepreneurship and the fascination with learning about business is in my bones, and there is no stopping it. Clearly, it's part of my soul purpose. And the experience I need to get to where I am today is what I want to deliver to you. So I want you to understand and walk away with this. Soul work is powerful. It is also comical. It can be enjoyable. It's going to be hard too. And I'm here for you in this entire journey. So listen, without further ado, I'm going to let this episode go. I hope you stay on if you want to hear about things like purpose is the point, the problems you're here to solve and help with, how to stand in your expertise, how to connect to the spirit of your business, idea, or creation, how to get clear and align with your medicine, your message, your mission, how to create your own signature soul offer, how to authentically advertise, and much more. Next episode, we'll be going over soul purpose and earth mission, and I can't wait. So thank you for listening to me today. Reach out to me. I am a human. I'm here to help you. I love you so much. Enjoy the day.